Yeah, so interestingly enough, we've always offered sabbatical coaching, kind of as a side service. We didn't advertise it a lot, but there's been an interesting phenomenon during the COVID pandemic, and after that, all of a sudden we had leaders, exhausted leaders, coming and knocking on our door asking for sabbatical coaching. And we started to realize there's a rising tsunami of burned out leaders post-pandemic, all the pivoting, all the trying to do relational work, relational ministry, and gather people when they couldn't. And so we realized there was a real need for some effective sabbatical resources. Not only that, there's just the biblical imperative out of the Ten Commandments and modeled for us by God, why sabbatical is important to our lives. And that's something that we find, especially in the Western nations, in the U.S., has gotten lost. That kind of preventative self-care practice has been lost in what we call the shadow side of the Protestant work ethic. So we've put a lot of time and effort into making some excellent sabbatical resources for people so that they can actually plan well, they can take an effective sabbatical, they can come back renewed, bouncing back, and have new vision and even some development during the sabbatical process.
The Sabbatical eCourse is offered at anyone's pace at any time. We created it so that it was accessible with a wide variety of tools, and people can utilize it several months before they even start and go on their sabbatical, all the way through their sabbatical and then after their sabbatical. In addition, we were asked a lot of questions repeatedly, and so we said, why not have us respond to those in the eCourse? So we are doing that in that form. And we have the Cohort that people can access. It's optional, and that's once a month, ongoing.
Yeah. So we really have seen the importance of bringing the coaching element alongside the eCourse. And we offer 2 levels of subscription. At the first level, people automatically get the free Cohort coaching community where they can engage with that on a monthly basis and ask questions and not feel alone in their sabbatical process. And then the higher level, you get all of that, plus you can add individual coaching with one of the Way Between staff to help walk you through and make sure that your sabbatical is effective.
They had come highly recommended by mutual friends as we were considering our own next personal sabbatical. And we attended their workshop where we met them at the Missio Nexus last September. And it gave us an appreciation for their hearts as sabbatical coaches. As a life coach myself, I know the value of being coached. So we decided personally to register for their sabbatical eCourse ourselves. The eCourse gave us a blueprint, a framework in which to work on, and a path to think about as we were preparing for our sabbatical. They gave us a ramp on, to help us get started, a rest, a reflect, a realign, and then the ramp off to get back into ministry in a more healthy and creative way. And the second thing that it impacted us was the TWB also offers in the eCourse a free cohort with it if we want to take advantage of it. And we were able to access that in group coaching and a community that met monthly to ask questions and learn from others. We were able to be given accountability, which was very helpful, especially in a busy world that we live in. And it also, when we ran into a wall or felt stuck, we were encouraged from the group and Sarah and Jeff.
Yeah, so the unique approach that I think we bring to sabbatical that we haven't seen in other places is that spirit of the way between. We bring a holistic approach where you're engaging your body, you're engaging your spirit, you're engaging your mind in the process, as well as having holistic practices of health throughout it so that you can really bounce back and you can renew. Another element that we've already mentioned is the coaching. Overlaying that with coaching, whether that's group coaching or individual coaching, you have someone to help hold the bigger picture for you so that you can just focus in each stage of the sabbatical what you need to be doing during that time.
Yeah, I would say all of that is unique as well. We end up in the eCourse asking people to do it in real time. So the idea is that they would be not reading a book or a manual all at once or all ahead of time when maybe their brain can't handle that much information, especially if they're burned out, but to actually access the material in real time. There's coaching questions in real time, there's pitfalls to avoid in real time, there's tools to use in real time, and each of the different 6 phases that we talk about. That I feel like is really unique.
Yeah.
The transformation that we've seen with people in that is that they feel not as isolated or alone. They feel like there's a community of people with them. They feel like there's accountability in their approach. One of the biggest questions we get is, okay, I want to take a sabbatical. How do I actually structure it? How do I do that? And so this helps them structure it, and then it keeps them on the course as well. And as far as actually getting all the way through their sabbatical, not getting stuck at any one point, I see that as transformational for people. And to see them come alive in 3 months or 6 months, see their spirit refreshed.
Often when I would tell people that I'm going on sabbatical or I'm in a sabbatical now, their response would be, oh, well, Jim, you have deserved that. Or Jim, you've earned that. And I would always feel weird about that and want to say to them, no, actually, sabbatical is not earned. It is granted. It's kind of like Sabbath. Sabbath is granted by God. It's not something we earn. Now, why does that matter? Well, I think it changes the framework as we go into sabbatical. We go into sabbatical looking to the grace of God, recognizing this is a time that God has given me that I've not earned, that I can really seek Him. In the case of my sabbatical, I feel like that God was inviting me into an inward journey to really look into who am I with Him, outside of my role with TMS, outside of my identity as a CCW or as a staff person. And it was a marvelous time for me of digging into that question and all the corollary questions that come as a part of that. I was so grateful that somebody recommended I get a sabbatical coach. And he kind of helped walk me through the design of the sabbatical beforehand and then processed it with me. I also had a spiritual director I'm so thankful for, who was able to help me kind of take some of the insights and things that were churning in me and crystallize those into some actual learnings and things that I can implement in my life.